Hi guys, welcome or welcome back if you are new. I'm Isha and you are home with Isha. Today we are going to do a book video, which is a pretty popular hashtag. Like I said, I'm still trying to break into this Booktube world, this community, and be part of that. I love watching Booktube videos. I really enjoy it. Get a lot of recommendations. You know, it's good to see what other people are reading, especially if you share the same interests, find new authors, maybe even some new genres and some new tropes that you didn't think you might like, but you might enjoy. So I am doing the mid-year book tag. So we have a couple questions we're gonna go through. I'm gonna try to get through them as quick as I can because for some of them I did put more than one answer. It was a little complicated on some of them for me to just limit it down to one. So if you are interested in finding out what are my favorites so far for the first half of the year, come on in. Alright guys, so let's just, right out of the gate, let's jump to question one, and that is best sequel of 2024 or best book. So for that, I have Savage Wounds by Lilian Harris. So I believe last year I started reading Lilian Harris, and she does Mafia romance, and it's incredible. I love the world. I love the characters. I just like in that family, the way there's like this series, it's a family of brothers, and like their family, their brothers, the relationship, and then the women they meet and, you know, bring into the family, marry into the family. Like, it's incredible. So there's that series, and then there's another series with the Cavalieri brothers, and it's also another Mafia romance series with a set of brothers. But her books are just so great. Like, I haven't met one of her male characters that I do not love so far. I was writing with her on Instagram the other day, and I told her, I'm like, you can't ask me to like pick a male character of yours. Like, I love them all. Like, I can't pick one. I can't. So the sequel for me is Savage Wounds, which ended up being, I want to say, the fifth. Let me see. So there was Michael, Raphael, Gio. So fourth, maybe the fourth book in that series. And the male characters, the story in general is incredible, but just following up, seeing where all the other characters for the previous books are now, I enjoyed it. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So for best book, to the beginning of for the year so far, I guess I'm gonna go with Take Off. And Take Off is by Evelyn Sola, who is also an artist that I discovered, I believe, this year. And I read another book of hers, I believe it was Almost Paradise, and then I read a second one. So this Take Off is the third book I read by her, and the main characters, again, her male characters, they're swoony, they're possessive, but they're not Mafia. And that already just had my mind blown because I'm mainly into Mafia romance, dark romances, but these are like billionaire romances. Take Off itself is a sports romance, single dad, and sports romance. He's a basketball player, and he's also from the country, so he's got a nice little accent and country manners. He's amazing. He's amazing. The story, like, I was laughing out loud. It has great banter. It's an interracial relationship. A heroine who sworn off dating outside of her race, who's sworn out dating athletes, and definitely sworn off dating single dads. So watching them come together, and just when they do get together, the way he loves her, the way he like just worships her is incredible. Great story. Like, she's another one who, her male characters, I love most of her main characters. Number 2, most anticipated release for 2024, for the second half of 2024. I'm gonna go with Play Along by Liz Tomforde. That one, I've read all the books in the series so far. I did really enjoy Mile High, but I still believe so far the favorite one for me is Right Move. Caught Up, I did enjoy it. I did like the whole baseball aspect of it. It was a nice romance, but I don't know, it kind of dragged for me, and it was kind of slow. So I didn't really like that one so much, but favorite one was Right Move, and it kind of built up. So in Play Along, it's his brother, the brother from Caught Up's male character, and he has a crush on a lady that works for them. I believe she's their physical therapist. And it basically turns into they all end up in Vegas, and these two wake up next to each other and they're married. He's already wanted her for so long, and he's a playboy. He's been, getting around, and he's dedicated to, like, I got her, I'm gonna make this work. She's not gonna divorce me. Like, he's got to find a way to keep her. So I'm intrigued by that. I want to find out what happens with them. The other one is Brutal Savage by Lilian Harris. And this one comes out September 6th. So Brutal Savage, this is another series of hers that she started. It was kind of a spin-off from the first book I mentioned, which is the Messina crime family. So this is a spin-off of them. So this follows the Irish Mafia side of their family. Their families are kind of interconnected through marriage. And this is the leader, or the going to be leader, of the Irish Mafia, and he needs a wife. He's not trying to find a wife. He's not interested in finding a wife, and he ends up, I believe he is raising a cousin's child. The parents passed, so his cousin passed, and he has his cousin's son that he is raising. But to take over the Mafia, his father wants him to be married. His father wants him to have a wife. So he ends up having a romance with basically his son's teacher. And just the little snippets that I've gotten so far, like about his character, and like some of the comments that he has said to her, I'm all in. I can't wait. I want to see. And like I said, I love all her male characters so far. So every time I read a new one, I'm like, wait, is he my new favorite? But I don't know. I'm really intrigued. I want to find out what that one's going to be. So number 3, biggest disappointment. I didn't have this YouTube channel when I read this book, and I'm not going to say I don't ever trash an author, or like literally trash a book. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you I don't like it, or why I don't like it. I'll always be honest about that. However, by Frenzy I Ruin by Cora Reilly, I DNF'd it. And I normally do not DNF books, especially Mafia books. Never. But I couldn't. And I've watched a lot of other people's reviews, and it wasn't even about his character. I kind of expected his character to be kind of like a jerk, or, whatever. His dad was not even that sane. It's a spin-off, so it's the Cora. So it's like a spin-off. It's their children from the Cora. And I've loved her other Mafia books. And so far, the children's books have not really been hitting for me. I did like one, I believe the one that came before this one, which is this male character. It was his twin sister's book with another Mafia family, was her love interest. So that one I did enjoy. But this one, I was into it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna push through, I'm gonna get through it, and then smacked me upside the face with something. And it's normally something I enjoy, I like in a book, but I normally like it when it happens between the male characters. not when it's just random, sporadic. And the way it happened, it kind of reminded me too much of that male character's parents' book. It's kind of like she took the same scenario and put it in this book, but just in a more less romantic, less sweet way, if that makes sense. I don't know. It was just too much for me, and I was like, I can't, I'm done. I don't even think these two characters really love each other, or really, it just started off the girl had a crush, and it just went from there, and I wasn't feeling it, so definitely not a fan of that. Biggest surprise, just God of War, by Rina Kent. I have loved this series, The Legacy of Gods. It was very intriguing to find out, like, we get to book to find out each character. So in each character's book, it kind of like gives you a little backdrop of, you see a little bit of each other characters, and you're like, oh, I wonder who his love story is going to be with, or I wonder like what her love story is going to be like. So with God of War is Eli and Ava. And through other people's stories, they built this up to where, you know, Ava has a crush on Eli. She's always had a crush on him. He doesn't seem interested in her. But yet, in one of the books I read, in this one, they make a comment about him, like, somebody carrying her out of a club, and how Eli's gonna lose it. Like, he's gonna flip his shit. Like, he doesn't like people touching her. He doesn't like people around her. Like, he's so possessive. And I'm like, okay, I want to see where this goes. Like, why is he so possessive of her? I thought he wasn't interested. How does that happen? In this story, I'm not going to say I didn't like it. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, because I just felt like they spent a lot of time apart. Just, they were together, but they were apart, if that makes sense. I feel like he was, like, staying away from her, and I guess, like, once you find out why, okay, yeah, it made sense, but it didn't really show me how he became so possessive and obsessed with her like she was with him. It just didn't, you didn't see that elevating, or you just don't, like, okay, I thought he didn't like her. How did he go from here to here? Like, I don't know. I just felt like there were things that I needed answered that were not answered. So, wasn't my favorite. My favorite in that one is still God of Fury. That one's still my favorite. So number 5 is my new favorite author, which I've already mentioned, is Evelyn Sola. Her books are, they're incredible. I freaking love them. I love them. Like I said, I'm normally Mafia, dark romance. I can do contemporary romance, but I have to really be intrigued with it now, and I have to, like, do one here and then go back to my Mafia, my dark romance, and then maybe do another one. But with her books, like, the storylines are great. The male characters are always possessive, have those Mafia traits that I really enjoy, but they're billionaires or sports. And her females are kick-ass females. They got the attitude, so the stories always have the banter, and they're, like, they make me laugh out loud. They make me happy. I'm thinking about them later. Great books. Also, I found T.L. Smith, and I want to say it's Kaya Carrington-Russell. They write books together, but Kaya also wrote a book of her own that I had an arc of last month or the month before. I want to say maybe last month. I'm actually reading another one of their arcs, or Kaya's arcs currently, but they also write, like, Mafia romance, and their books are also very, very good. So they follow, like, you meet the other characters in their books. So I started from the beginning, and I'm, like, just following through the series. So I'm always looking for new Mafia authors to add to my list, to my click list, where I know I can go to this author and I know I'm gonna get a good Mafia book. These two ladies are definitely on the list, and their Instagrams are hilarious. Like, the things they post, like, they do the little snippets and everything, and they're funny. They're funny. So I really enjoy them. Number 6, a book that made you cry. I knew exactly what book I was gonna write, and then I realized I didn't read that book this year, so we had to put another one. So I'm gonna go with Soulmate, which is it's a Lethal Legacy series, and it's by D.M.Mortier. She's also someone I discovered, I want to say last year in the beginning of the year. She has a vampire series, and I do romance like with Wolf Shifter. Haven't really read too many vampire romance because I didn't really enjoy them, but hers, last year, I was hooked. Like, it's not just soulmate vampire, like her vampires, the powers that she gives these vampires, and they're supposed to be like not just your regular vampires, but a notch above. So they have incredible powers. Like, it's just the stuff that happens, and it's playing in my head like a movie, and I'm like, oh my god, if this was a movie or a series and I could watch it, I'd be hooked. You'd be like, Vampire Diaries who? It's freaking amazing. So I loved it. But yeah, unfortunately, the last book made me cry. And I don't cry in books. It takes a lot to make me cry. But I love these characters so much. So that one made me cry. Number 7, Book Boyfriend. We're gonna go with Colt Chastain, and that's from Evelyn Sola's The Takeoff. He's the basketball player's single dad, and like I said, he's got that country twang, his country manners, and he's so sweet. He is so sweet. He's sweet, he's funny, and he's very protective of his girl. Love him. And he's an amazing dad. Let's not forget that. He's an amazing dad. Ethan, which is also a character, he's from The Takeover from Evelyn Sola, and that was the other one I read before The Takeoff, and he's the billionaire, and his girlfriend is sisters with the girl from book 2 who ends up with Cole, and they're like these men, the way they want these women, the way they make it known, and they're such dirty talkers. You just like have to like listen, and I'm like, wait, what did he just say what I think he said? And so if you haven't read Evelyn Sola, please do. I'm like going through, I can't get through these books fast enough. Like, they're amazing. Adriel from Savage Wounds, and that's Savage Wounds by Lilian Harris. He's such a tortured hero. He's been through so much, but also his female character has also been through so much, and the way they get through that together, the way they become each other's person and like literally ride or die for you, he's on the list. We have Mo from Mafia Virgin, and that's Mila Finelli. Arranged marriage, and he was just like, it's like one of those, he didn't want to fall, he didn't want to care for her, but when he starts caring for her, like, he's also, the way he takes care of her, the way he puts her first, definite book boyfriend, definite. A book that made you happy. Again, I'm sorry, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but Takeoff, Evelyn Sola. The banter, the kid was cute, the hero was swoony, the dirty talking, like, I was smiling and laughing out loud. That book makes me happy. Most beautiful book I bought this year. We're gonna go with this beauty right here. God of Fury, Rina Kent. Special edition by the Book Baddies. I love it. Love it. It's so great. It's beautiful. And I was like, I needed this so badly. So that one. And I got this off a Kickstarter by C.D. Reiss. the complete submission series. So these are all 3 books. I'm just gonna give you one, and it is like so great. So here's the back, and it's like quotes and phrases from the book, connection, and just, it's just pretty. It's so pretty. And then we got gold foil. I love these. So pretty. So pretty. And then even the little, what do you call them? The little horror cases in. I love it. I love it. So those are my specials. Books I really need to read before the end of the year. Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver, just because I keep saying I'm going to read it and I still haven't read it yet. It's been on my list for I don't know how long, and every month I pass it to the next month, to the next month, to the next month. ACOTAR, Sarah J. Maas. I started it, have not finished it yet. I'm even listening to the audio, and I'm not pulled in yet, so it's taking me a very long time, but I do want to finish that by the end of this year. Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I read the first one. I wasn't really all obsessed like everyone is. I mean, I liked it. It was okay, but nothing too crazy. But I do want to finish it. Top books of the year. I'll give you some that I haven't already. So Collide by Akinosho. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. Insidious Obsession is by Carrington-Russell. Twisted Hearts and Vicious Hearts by Jagger Cole. Also another great Mafia romance. Love them. And then we got Take Over and Take Off, which those have to be on the list, as well as Savage Wounds. And Almost Paradise, also by Evelyn Sola. That was the very first one I read of hers in January. So good. And that is all, guys. That's all. If you haven't read any of these authors, please do. Please do. So, like this video, please share this video, and please subscribe if you haven't. I would love to become book besties with you. Let's talk books. If you've read any of these, please let me know. If you want to read any of these, please still comment. Let me know. Let's talk books, okay? Thank you. I appreciate you being here. See ya.